Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is talking about more about the Zapruder film and other images as well. As I point out in my research and stuff like that, a lot of people claims that the films has been altered or one thing or another because of the fatal headshot to JFK. But actually, no films or no images has been altered in any way, but they still consist of saying, yeah, the film's been altered in images because this expert's seen it or that expert's seen it. Okay, I'm not going to put down nobody's research or anybody else that's analyzing, films and images and stuff like that. Okay, that's their research and stuff like that. Like I said, I'll only point out my research and stuff and give you my professional opinion, okay? Because the way I look at things when it comes to the JFK assassination, everybody claims that they're an expert and stuff like that. To me, there is no expert because an expert knows everything. And as a researcher, a film photo analyst, I've been doing it for over 25 years now. There's no such thing as expert, but I found out from what I was told for years and years and years and years and years of services doing this, analyzing films and images and everything else, plus by older generation that used to analyze films and stuff like that. Okay, ever since film started, they always says there's no such thing as expert. But there's people out there claims they're expert because even people claim that I was an expert at a few points, and I kept on pointing out and say, no, I'm not an expert. There's really no such thing as experts, but other people once put a label to somebody, that's fine and dandy. Like I said, I don't push down nobody else's research or anything else. I'm giving you my opinion, and I'll point out facts of if you're going to alter an image or one thing or another. Okay, just like when I do my work and when I do my research and everything else, things I look for images being altered or anything else like that. Just like even the Zapruder film. The reason why people claim that the Zapruder film was altered is because of the fatal headshot to JFK. That's face facts of fact. Because of the shot to JFK's head, as we see in the Zapruder film, okay, in frame 313, okay, they're going to say one thing or another because they're going to say, well, eyewitnesses and doctors and all this stuff says there's a blowhole in the back of JFK's head back here, not right here. So they went ahead and covered this up right here and just have this part right here showing right here where it got exploded open. Okay, this is the reason why everybody keeps on claiming that this film has been altered. But let me show you some things here real quick. So we're going to shrink this one for a moment. We're going to go right back to this frame, this right here. To alter one film or one image, this is what we would have to do. First, we would have to get all the films, original films, not copies of films now. Before they even make copies of the films, they would have to have every original copy of all the frames, of all the films, and all the images and stuff. And then we have to line this up. So let's say this is the Zapruder film. This is the Orville Nix film. This is the Bronson film. This is the Muchmore film. We have to line all these films up in order with one another. Then we're going to have to go into place this image here, Allgen's image number 6 over here, number 7 over here, memory more photo right here, and here, and line this all up. So when we alter this one film, we have to alter this, 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 as it would go on the originals. Now, everybody knows, and any researcher knows this, and this is the truth. They won't tell you this information, but I'll give you this information. No films or images is altered anyway because the pure some fact is what we see in the films and images because all the films and all the images line up with one another. Okay. The Zapruder film, okay, was filmed, developed, copies made, handed off same day, November 22nd, 1963. To develop this type of film, which they won't explain this to you, but I go in detail. To develop this type of film should take 3 to 4 days. But they was doing a rush job on it like they did on all the films and all the images. They did a rush job on it so they could see exactly what took place and what happened that day. So this is why we have different colors and different frames. Now, if they'd done it the proper way, all the colors would blend and we could see more detail. Honestly, to me, if they would took their time and developed the film, we would probably have a lot more details we could see. But since they did a rush job on it, it took, a lot of information out, but that's the reason why we see if we look at some frames or other frames, we're going to see, well, there's a different color here, different color there. It's more, this frame's more bright and stuff because they did they developed this actually fast. Now, another thing, as I point out in my research and stuff like that, is we're going to see that in the Zapruder film is a side A and a side B, which let me pull up this frame right here, pull up this image right here. They're not going to tell you this, okay? I give this information out as well. This is what I do. On side A, there's a side A and side B on the film. The film looks like a 16 millimeter film, which I'll pull up this right here so you can see when I talk about this. Okay, here is a type of film that Mr. Zapruder was using. Okay, this is the type of film he was using right here. Because I bought a similar, identical camera, identical film and stuff. See how it looks like 16 millimeter film. Well, actually what it is you got side A, which has 25 feet long, 500 frames. Then on side B, we have another 500 frames and another 25 feet. Now, when they get done developing it, which they develop both sides at the same time, after they get done developing it, then they cut down the center of the film, and then they join them together, where now we have one complete reel of film, which is 1,000 frames, 50 feet long. But see, they don't give you this information. Just like when this other information they're going to give you is right here. As I point out and I tell people, from the beginning 001 through frame 367, all we're going to see is Zapruder's family, Mrs. Setzman in the office, and by the Pelagoro there, and then we're going to start seeing Elm Street. Okay, Elm Street starts being filmed on side A by frame 368. The frames before that was Zapruder's family, Mrs. Setzman in the office, and down by the Pelagoro. So they're going to take them frames out. That's where they get the confusion of where those frames taken out of the film. That's where they came from, right there. Because on side B, on side A, there's only 132 frames filmed of Elm Street. Mr. Zapruder had to turn the film around, because remember, Mr. Zapruder bought the camera, bought one reel film. That was it, 2 weeks before the assassination of JFK. After he bought the camera, and he bought the one reel film, only one reel now, mind you, because remember, side A and side B, okay, he films his family, films Mrs. Setzman. After he films his family stuff, he stops filming for a while. Then he brings it into work that day. Then he starts filming Mrs. Setzman in the office, and then down by the Pelagoro there. And then he starts filming Elm Street. Okay, so he didn't turn the film around or nothing until a certain point, because he was still filming on side A. Then when he ran out of film on side A, he had to turn around real quick. That's why if we look between frames 132 and 133, we see the stop. Okay, all we see is the police officers and stuff, the lead police officers and stuff on motorcycles, and then all of a sudden we see JFK's limo already coming down on Elm Street. So he didn't film the turn or nothing. He's already down on Elm Street, because he just got done turning his film around, because the assassination took place on side B, not on side A. They don't tell you this as well. So see, there's a lot of things they're not going to tell you about that. But they're going to say, oh, this is altered and stuff. Just like when they tell you it's altered. But when they tell you it's altered, they show you this. They said, well, the film has been altered because JFK's back of his head opened up. Okay, but look at here. JFK went to the back and then he went to the left. He went back and then he went to the left. So they're going to tell you that this film is altered, but they're going to tell you about the motions. This is right, but the headshot's wrong. Okay, you cannot sit there and say this is altered and then use this film as evidence as well, because you're just contradicting yourself. If the film's altered, then that means it's no good. You can't use any information from it. So you can't use the back and to the left to prove their case of the bullet coming from the front. Am I correct? So see, we have to look at this. Just like when I point out in this Zapruder film, he doesn't go back and to the left. He's going to his left because he was shot in the right side of his head. He's going off to his left. We could tell this by the distance between the back seat and back of JFK. Same distance here, 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 same distance here. It didn't change until frame 318 when Mrs. Kennedy starts pushing him off this way because, you know, trying to get him out of the way and stuff, because she took most of the impact on it. She's going like this, pushing him off to the side right here. This is when he starts going to the back by frame 318. Frame 312, 313, 14, 15, 16, 17, he's still got the same distance between the back seat and his back. So he didn't go back and to the left, he went to his left. That's another thing they want to tell you too, but then he's going to say this altered. Now let me show you something. If this film was altered, okay, we're going to pull up this right here. And we're going to pull up the frame again, frame 313. We're going to shrink this down. I'm going to move this over here. We're going to move this over here. Now we're going to bring up the Mormon photo. Okay. Now remember, the Mormon photo has not been altered. No one's never talked about that film, that image being altered. Now let's see what the Mormon photo, if it matches up to the Zapruder film. Okay, the Zapruder film shows the back of JFK's still head intact, the right side of his head gone. The image, autopsy image, shows the back of JFK's head intact, but the right side's gone. Let's see what the Mormon photo shows us. Well, the Mormon photo shows us, well, yeah, the right side of JFK's head is gone, but the back is intact. So the Mormon photo backs up this right here as well. So you see, the right side of JFK's head is gone. Right side of JFK's head's gone here, and right gone right here. Back's intact, back's intact, back's intact. So his head's intact. So the Mormon photo matches the Zapruder film. Orville Nick's films also matches the Zapruder film. Here it is right here. It matches his film as well. Oops, let's zoom back down a little bit. The back of JFK's head's intact. The right side of his head's gone. So see, the films and images all match and line up to one. But they're going to tell us that no, the headshot was back here because the police officers and them got blood all over them and everything else. There's going to get blood all over him because when his head opens up, the blood's going to come out this way. And remember, the car's moving. They're moving on their motorcycles and the wind's blowing. So that blood's going to splatter, come right back on him because blood splatter's coming up and the wind's blowing and they're driving into it. The blood's going to splatter all over you. Do you see what I'm saying? So see, they want to tell us that all these films and these images is altered because of one thing or another. But if I was going to alter an image, and now alter film, just like I tell people, even like the Zapruder film, I would have took out frame 399. Why would I take out 399? Because it shows a bullet striking the side and hits the concrete of the manhole cover. I would have took out frame 401. Why? Because it shows another bullet striking the top corner right here and a piece of concrete flying up, and we see that bullet hole right there. And then I would have took out frame 402 because it shows a bullet ricocheting upward where it goes into the grass, and they retrieved a bullet right there. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the FBI, CIA is the one alter this, or the government alter this, don't you think they would have looked in the films and images for those shots? Because you got images of Secret Service agents and police looking at them, knowing there's two shots that struck that manhole cover. So they're going to look over these films and images, and they're going to see if anybody captured them bullets striking there, so they could take them and alter them out. So they would take them frames out. But they didn't, because all these things can be seen in the Zapruder film. Just like the sign on a lamppost here. We'll go to frame 416, because that's where the lamppost got strike at right here. Here's 416. Here's frame 416 of Zapruder film. We see a bullet striking and hitting the sign on the lamppost. We see it coming in this way, and then it's coming in from the left, going out to the right, because it strikes right here, and then shoots off to the right. Strikes the lamppost. Okay, they know these shots occurred there. They know two shots even in the grass area. They would have went back over these films and images, especially the Zapruder film, because the Zapruder film shows a whole assassination, right? And he's on that side of Elm Street, and he's going to see that side of the street, so he's going to be actually to capture these shots being occurred. So they would have looked over his film. They would have took out frame 416. They would have took out frame 399, frame 401, 402. The shot to Governor Connolly in the back, they would have took out frame 330. They would have took out the shot to JFK, the back of the JFK's head, which is frame 229. As you notice, I'm pinpointing each one of these shots. And they would have took out frames 14 and 13 and 14, 414 and 413, them frames there, because they showed two shots in the grass area. So you see what I'm saying? They would have took all these frames out. There shouldn't be no 486 frames. There actually should be the total of, there should actually only be 478 frames, because they should have took out frame 001 through frame 132, because it don't show JFK's limo whatsoever. They start off with frame 132. They should have took out frame 229, 330, 399, 401, 402, 413, 414, and 416, because then that should be total frames in all should be 478, and then you take off the 1001 and 132, leaves 346 frames of the assassination, but there's 486 frames. You see what I'm saying? Because there's still frame 229 in there, and through 330, 399, 401 and stuff, where other shots occurred. So if they was going to alter a film or alter an image, wouldn't you think they took them shots out? Like I said, all the films and all the images line up with one another. The right side of JFK's head opened up, not the back side. We see this in the Mormon photo and all. We see this with our eyes. Here's the Mormon photo. Here's the original one. This is not the black. This is the black and white version. As you see, right here. Here's JFK's head. Right here. This section is gone. Right over here. This section is gone. Here's the back of JFK's head. We can see that section right here is gone on the right side of JFK's head. Because remember, it opened up and the rest of it was just hanging here. Open up, hanging here. Right? Same thing we see in the Mormon photo. The back of JFK's head is completely intact. It matches the films and it matches the images and everything else, like we see right here. Back of JFK's head is intact, but his left side, the right side of his head is gone. So see, all the films and all the images line up, as I pointed out, for them to alter images and stuff, just like gunmen. Here's how the car, this is how I look at it when I do my research. This is how they're positioned by the time the fatal headshot happened. We have Mrs. Kennedy right here blocking any shots from the left. We have Mrs. Connolly right here blocking any shots from the left and from the front view, same as these two guys here have shot any shots from the front view. We would have to have a gunman on the right side of JFK's limo to be able to take a fatal headshot to him. And he would have to be coming in from the right. Not from up front, because it would have struck either this Secret Service agent here or Governor Connolly first before it strike JFK. If it was coming from the south side, it would strike the driver here or Mrs. Connolly before he strikes JFK. And if it was coming over here from the south side, it would strike Mrs. Kennedy because she had them all blocked from this. He's right here, and she's got them all blocked from behind her. So any shots from the left-hand side could not make contact with JFK because remember, the cars are moving as well. So see, there's a lot of things we have to look at if they want to claim these things are altered in one way or another. Do they go in depth? Do they go in details? Okay, they claim they've been going over this film 1,000 times and they know this film inside and out stuff. If they know this film inside and out stuff, why haven't they found these shots? That makes me think, why haven't they found these shots? Because they're plain sight. You can see them. Okay, here's in this Zapruder film, which I'm trying to tell people. Look at this Zapruder film. Watch it in motion. You'll see the shots occur right there. As you see, frame 399, frame 401, 402, bullet ricocheting upward, piece of concrete flying up in the air, something strikes the top corner there, someone strikes the side there. We see that. Then we look at, the Zapruder film shows us this, and then we go ahead and we look at other images, and we see, well, there's Secret Service agents and police officers and stuff. There's that manhole cover right there. There's that manhole cover right there. Bullet strikes here. Bullet strikes up here. There's that manhole cover. You see this officer here. Here's the backside of that manhole cover right there. As you see here, he's trying to figure out which way, the direction that these shots came from. Here's that manhole cover right here on this side right here of this guy right here. And we see him coming down, picking up a bullet. And there's that manhole cover right here, which you probably can't see it now because I'm over here, but I'll go ahead and shrink it. And there's that manhole cover right here. You know what I'm saying? Here's that manhole cover right here. Bullet strikes here, and a bullet strikes here, as we see in a Zapruder film. And then we go to that manhole cover today, and what we're going to see. We're going to see both bullet holes, which I'll zoom in right here. Frame 399 shows this shot right here. Frame 401 shows this shot right here. So see, both bullet holes are there. Other films, that's why I said, they know them shots occurred. They know shots struck that manhole cover. So if there's going to alter the Zapruder film, when they view the Zapruder film, they should have notes saying notes. Okay, we're going to write down notes. Shots to manhole cover. Okay, I'm making notes out myself. See, notes, shots to manhole cover. So I'm going to look for them. Okay, because there were shots to a manhole cover. And then when I find them, and I'm going to look at the Zapruder film, especially the Zapruder film, because that shows a whole assassination. And if I see those shots to that manhole cover, I'm going to say, oh man, I better take these frames out. So now I'm going to get less frames again. So I'm going to take the shots and manhole cover out. I want to burn these images right here that's been taken. I'm going to burn and get rid of them because I don't want nobody to know about that manhole cover. Manhole cover, shows us the shot. The Zapruder film shows us shots in the manhole cover. Other images show there was shots in the manhole cover and a bullet retrieved by the manhole cover. So see, that's all lining up. The Mormon photo, the Nix film, the Bronson film, and all of them shows that the right side of JFK's head opened up, not the back side. It's all still intact. They all line up with one another. Where can altering be done? No altering can be done. As I point out, I gotta tell people right here, we have the gunman inside of shelter number 3, which I'll pull up this right here. And we're going to pull up this one here. We're going to pull up this here, pull up this here. Okay, and we're going to do close-ups so people can see. We're going to do the close-ups. Let's bring up this one too. All right, we're going to bring up the Mormon photo. We're going to zoom in on the Mormon photo of the 2 gunmen. Right here, we see both of them. Gunman 1, gunman 2. Okay, that's from the Mormon photo. Oval Nix film, right here. Shows a shot coming from the window. Right there. Frame 313 lines up with frame 26 of the Zapruder, of the Nix film. Shows a headshot. The Nix film shows the shot to JFK. The Zapruder film shows the impact, right side of JFK's head. Here's a shot. This gunman here, firing out this window here, as we see here, and we see that shot right here. Now we also have the Oval Nix film that shows the other shot, which we'll put this up here. We'll put this up here. Oops. I want to put this down here. We see the shot being fired right here on the side of the shelter, and we see that gunman here. We see this gunman here taking a shot to Governor Connally. We see this guy right here taking a shot to JFK. The reason why they keep on pulling out this Zapruder film being altered is because of the fatal headshot. They want to prove it from a different location. The facts are facts. The images shows us the people, the eyewitnesses claim those shots came from directly behind me. That's Newman's. Mr. Zapruder shot, the assassin was right behind him. You see, in the beginning, then he changed the story after the Warrant Commission report came out. But see, we can see the gunman with rifles in the hands. We got other films and images show him aiming the rifles, but we see him firing the rifles from the Oval Nix film. The fatal headshot to JFK and a shot to Governor Connally. They line up with frame 313 and frame 330 of the Zapruder film. And in frame 330, what do we see when we watch the Zapruder film? And we look at frame 330. Remember, frame 40 lines up with frame 330. What do we see? We see the bullet impact in the back of Governor Connally's back. So you see, no films, no images have been altered anyway, because every film and every images are lined up with one another. Just like when I pull out the image of Alt Gen. Alt Gen's image number 6 lines up with frame 254, the Zapruder film. Okay, Alt Gen's number 7 lines up with 394 of the Zapruder film. Right here. Lines up with frame 394 of the Zapruder film. Okay, every image, every film is lining up. Okay, they want to continue on saying that the Zapruder film has been altered. Okay, but look, all this information. They want to say it's been altered, the film's been altered, but they want to use it as evidence, as I pointed out. But we see the fatal headshot and the shot to Governor Connally came from shelter number 3. We also see the shots to the manhole cover that came from the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building. All this is seen in the Zapruder film. And as I point out, if I was going to alter a film, I would have looked for these shots here and took out these manhole cover shots. I would have took out the shots to the side of the lamppost. They know them shots occurred. So they would have to hide, they would have to hide the evidence, wouldn't they? They would have to take it away. So they would have to take it out of the Zapruder film. But the Zapruder film shows us both of them shots taking place and hitting that manhole cover. Other images shows us the manhole cover was hit. Plus, we have eyewitness accounts claiming as well. Just like I said, they'll look at this film. This is how they look at the film. They look at the fatal headshot. They look at these frames here, time and time again. The fatal headshot to JFK. That's what they look at. Okay, that's all they're going to look at. They're not going to sit there and basically, if they analyze these films as they claim, and they're experts as they claim, why wasn't these shots presented to the manhole cover and other shots that I found in the film? Should have been presented. The gunman in the sprocket area. Okay, why wasn't he seen? As I point out in my films and images and stuff like that, why wasn't he found We could see the gunman coming down, taking aim, taking a shot. He wasn't even seen. Okay. Now I analyzed the Zapruder film. I analyzed all the next film. I lined all the films up. I lined up all the images and stuff like that, as you would see right here. Okay. I also go in depth on about the film itself. Hey, it's a double-sided film, side A, side B. There's 500 frames on one side, 500 frames on the other side. There's 25 feet on one side, 25 feet on the other side, 50 feet long, 1,000 frames total. Okay, I go in depth. I tell people, hey, this thing only took. They developed it. It should take 3 to 4 days to develop this type of film the proper way, but they did a rush job on it, and they actually developed it within 3 to 4 hours. And then after developing the original, they went ahead and made 3 more copies of the film. So they handed Mr. Zapruder, the FBI, the CIA and stuff never had that original in their hand. They gave that original and a copy of it to Mr. Zapruder, which Mr. Zapruder had a copy and original. Then they gave 1 copy to CIA, 1 copy to the FBI. Then they went ahead and Mr. Zapruder took his original film, turned it over, took the original film now, not his copy, he kept his copy, but he took his original part and turned it over to Time magazine, which they held the original for years before they gave it back to the family. So you see, to alter films, to alter images, you would have to have all the original films in one location. And as I point out in my research stuff, Mr. Zapruder had the original developed on the first day. The second day, it was already gone in Time Life magazine. Only thing the government had was copies of the film. Then we had to turn around. Orville Nix turned his film in 2 weeks after the assassination. So see, them films was never in the same place at the same time, because the Orville Nix film lining up with the Zapruder film frame by frame, they're lining up. Now, if they altered that Zapruder film, then they shouldn't line up whatsoever. We could tell that. You see what I'm saying? But they still line up. The Orville Nix film shows us where the shots came from. The Zapruder film shows us where these bullets made contact with. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what we go look at, just like I tell people. When I do my investigation, when I do my research, they look at they look at the frame or the assassination as one vehicle, one person in a car, 2 people in a car. This is how I look at it when I do my investigations, because this is reality. There was people all over the place. There was other vehicles in the follow-up cars and stuff. There was people in the different locations and stuff. For anybody to take a shot over here, they're end up shooting somebody else, because remember, there's people standing above JFK's limo. Okay, so if we take this and let's zoom in, okay, let's say, remember, JFK and them are sitting down. So if people were standing along as they're driving down the street, people stand along, they're going to be up here above JFK's car, which I think we have an image of something. I don't know. Well, even right here, if we ever should look at it right here as well, you see the police officers, okay, are even above JFK at this point. See how they're higher than JFK? So you see, that's what I'm talking about. I just want to make this video here, point out some more facts and stuff like that. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Always in the description down below, you'll find a book, site where you can order my book, Evidence Conspiracy, on the book you ever need. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.